So we're going to work on how to make the dragon fractal. This actually was really difficult for me. I spent a lot of time playing around with it. One, I would just do it on graph paper and I would end up erasing lines, and what happened here is I ended up getting, I'm not really sure, I ended up getting like somewhere in here, and then all of a sudden I realized somewhere along the ways I went in the wrong direction. So I did this a bunch of times trying to figure it out, and I eventually came up with something a little bit better than what I was trying. To start with, you're going to take a piece of graph paper. You're going to need lots of graph paper if you do it my way. If you do it the other way, where I was just erasing stuff, you can do it with one paper. But with this one, what I did is I just started with the very first iteration. Remember, a fractal is just where you do a reiteration over and over again, over and over again until you get a pattern going on. So here's the first iteration, and we've got basically what I look at as a left and then a right, and that's how I kept track of things when I drew it. It was a left and a right. So I've got my little Lego friend here to help me explain that. So imagine she's standing on this dot right here. If she was going to walk on this line, she would first turn left, walk all the way down, and then she would turn right and walk all the way down. And then she would be done. And so that's how we're going to look at this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another piece of graph paper. I'm going to place it over this one. Now you can just barely see the line underneath, but I'm lining up my grid so it lines up with that grid. Okay. This was the first spot. This is where she turned, and this is where she ended. Now what I do is I say, okay, what if she's back again and she's standing right here? Okay, so she's standing at the end of her dot, and now she has to turn left. Okay. So she's going to go left and then she's going to go right. And so what I mean by that is we're going to branch off at a 45-degree angle from here. And that's where the grid paper comes in nice, because basically I'm just going through corners. I'm going to branch off at a 45-degree angle. Okay, and I keep on going. And especially on these big ones, it's kind of nice then to take this one and branch off at a 45, because we're going to meet them, and they're going to meet at a 90-degree angle. So it's kind of, where are they going to meet is the challenge. When we get smaller, it gets a little bit easier. Okay, so she went left and made this 90-degree angle, and now she's standing here looking at this line that's underneath, and now she needs to go right. So she went left, and now she needs to go right. So I'm going to do a 45-degree angle from here, going right. So this is going to take a whole lot of, where direction, perception here. Where are you standing? A lot of times I end up having to turn the paper just to make sure I've got my lefts and rights going the right way. Okay. How did I get that one off? Let's see here. Through the corners. You would think this would be easier than it is. There we go, through the corners. And there we go. So this is the second iteration of the dragon fractal. Okay, so then what I would do is I took a magic marker or Sharpie, and I actually did, traced over it and made it really dark. So this is the second one. So now what I'm going to do is take another piece of paper, and I put it over the top, and I do that again. I'm just going to do it on here just so you can see. So this is the second iteration. She is standing right here, and she needs to go left. So she's going to do her 45-degree angle, left. And now she's standing looking at this one, and she's got to go right. Okay, so she went left. Now she goes right. Now she's standing here. She's got to face her line. And now she went left, then she went right. Now she's going to go left again. So she takes a left, does her 45-degree angle until she's got her corner. And then she's standing here, and let's see, she went left last time, so she needs to go right this time. Okay, and so then this pencil line is the new version, the new iteration. So that would be the third one. So here's a copy of that in marker instead. And then we just keep on going. So I imagine she's standing here at my starting. We always go left and then right. So from here we go left, and then right, and then left, and then right, and then left. I always struggle through these corners. I'm not really sure why. Okay, what do we do here now? This was right, then left, now right. So if I put her here, she's going to go right, so that would be inside here. And what you'll see that's happened, this is where it starts getting confusing too, is now I've created this closed box. And so when that happens, when you're doing your next iteration, it's sometimes you kind of get lost in which way does this box go. So what I like to do then is on this one, I like to give myself little arrows that tells me that when I get to this spot here where I have so many places I could go, I need to go left. And then over here, I need to go right. No, that's left too, if I turn around. Okay. And then I just continue finishing this off. So this one was right. Now I need to go left. That wasn't a very good one, was it? So that was left and then right. And this design gets so cool as you go on. So here it is in marker, right? Look at that. It's getting really cool. And then as you keep on doing that, I actually was able to get myself up to 7. It was getting really difficult. I wish I could go farther. Maybe when I sit down another time I can do that. So this is the 4th one. This is the 5th iteration. You see I have a bunch of arrows in here because I'm trying to help myself know where to go on the next one. Otherwise you end up going the wrong direction, and that's where I had messed up when I was doing it with the pencil that I'd showed you at the beginning. Here's the 6th iteration. And then here's as far as I got, the 7th iteration. Look at that. Isn't that a really cool thing? If you look it up, if you Google it, the design is just amazing and beautiful. And it's so weird that that comes from just these 2 lines, just the idea of going left and right at a 90-degree angle. You get something just so beautiful. So then what I wanted to do is I want to create more of an art piece without the grid work. You know, I wasn't really liking the grid work. So what I did is I just took a plain piece of paper and I laid it over and just traced over, and this is what I got. So this is beautiful in its own. I've seen where people color it in, and it's called a dragon curve because you can actually, you know, put it and make it look like a dragon head here and a dragon tail here. You can actually make it look like a dragon if you color it in, which would be really cool to see if you want to do that. I also thought, what if I didn't use straight lines? What if I curved them a little bit? So I did this little like curve pattern, and I got this piece of artwork, and I love how it, like, I have these circles showing up in here. It just makes it have a little interest also. So, you know, try it out. See how far can you get past the 7th one. I would love to see where, as we get going here, you know, I started out on the 1st iteration, I started out going 16 spaces. I went 16 because I wanted to, you know, keep it in a multiple of 2, so a power of 2. So I knew that that was going to be going down by 2s. So I did 16. It took a lot longer than I thought, actually, to get down to, what did I end up getting down to? I got down to squares of 2, or side lengths of 2 here. And so it would take, I think, what would we get to the 9th one before I get to a side length of 1, which is where I was trying to get. So I have 2 more iterations to go before I even get down to the 1 that I thought I was going to get. So I would love to see what that would look like, and maybe I'll get the patience to do that myself here soon. But have fun, make this beautiful. So don't stop here. Like, if this is where you're going to stop as far as, you know, the 7th iteration, that's fine. But, you know, go and make it artwork, you know, like color it in, make it something beautiful. Look at some of the stuff that people have done and create something beautiful and impress me. I would love to see what you come up with.